Sir? Hello? Are you still there?
The internet is filled with creepy content, but some videos go beyond disturbing. Like this one, for example, captured by the popular Japanese ghost hunters Tomo and Hiro from the YouTube channel Oki Film. They set out to investigate an old house in Aoi, Japan. It is said that the house is haunted by the spirit of a young child. The two investigators are exploring the house when they find a hidden corridor.
見てほら、通路。
うわー。
開けるよ。
うわー、開けていいのかな。
しょうがないね。
まあ、行くしかない。
ちょっと待って、なんかちょっと臭いかも。
マジ？
やばい、引っかかってる。うわ、どう？
いや、わかる。確かに。
変な部屋。何これ？何この空間？やば。あ、マーラーマンだよ、これ。
あ
あ。開けるよ。うわうわうわうわうわ。
いや、何
これ？病室じゃん。なんだこれ？
ペットってことだよね、でもね。
いや、おかしくない？
まあ、
何これ？
確かに病院とかで
病院じゃん。
使ってるやつ。
病室だよね。待って、子供部屋やん、ここ。
マジ？
子供部屋だよ。
あ
見て。ほら。
あ、人形？うわ。
It's an unsettling discovery, narrow, unlit, and almost intentionally concealed. The corridor leads them to a small, dusty room that seems like it once served as a sick room for a child. The air feels heavier here, still. But did you see it? As Tomo and Hiro enter the eerie hidden room, something, or someone, can be seen peeking out from behind the curtain. Just for a second, a pale face, partially obscured, and then it's gone. It ducks out of view just as quickly as it appeared. Neither of them notices. The camera keeps rolling, and the two investigators move forward, completely unaware of what they've just captured. There's no reaction, no hesitation. They carry on, convinced they're alone. Hiro then decides to stay inside the house by himself to see if the ghost that is said to haunt the property will make an appearance. After setting up his phone as a static camera in the other room, he sits down and begins to wait. For 30 long minutes, he remains inside. Shadows stretch along the walls. Occasional creaks echo in the background. A few strange noises puncture the silence, but nothing alarming, nothing decisive. Eventually, he walks over to check on his phone, but it's no longer standing. Somehow, it's been knocked over. The recording has stopped. The device is still warm, but the footage, at least in theory, ends there. But when they later review the phone's footage, the Oki team is stunned by what the static camera actually captured. Right before the camera is knocked over, a faint, ominous sound rises, something like a low metallic ring. And then, there it is, a face, unmistakably pale, with features that look almost childlike, yet distorted. The face appears for a single moment, just as the phone falls, then vanishes. No footsteps, no movement, just that still, horrific image burned into the frame. After reviewing their footage, Tomo and Hiro are no longer skeptical. They're convinced that the house is haunted, not just by whispers or superstition, but by something real, something intelligent, and something that did not want to be seen. You can watch this entire creepy investigation over on the YouTube channel Oki Film. But fair warning, sometimes the scariest things are the ones your eyes only catch once. And that same goes for what happens in this next terrifying footage that was published to YouTube on November 5th, 2011 by a user known as Saka1001A. From the very beginning, the uploader provides chilling context for what we're about to see. He begins with a written quote. "It was late on the night of February 12th, 2011. I was home alone with my friend. We were outside playing basketball on ice when we heard a screech about 500 yards away. It kept getting closer. We glanced at each other, wondering what the heck that was. After about 30 seconds, about 100 yards in the distance, we could make out a very large, dark object walking toward us. We sprinted into my house, began locking all the doors, and I picked up my iPhone to take a video of the screech the animal was making. But I got a little more than I expected." End quote. With that unsettling setup, we're thrown directly into the footage.
Lock it. Now that caps off a crazy adventure.
Ben,
Did you?
get your window.
He's coming in the house.
What we see is shaky, captured on a phone in a dark room. But what we hear is unmistakable. A shriek. Deep, unnatural, and too close for comfort. The camera pans toward a window as the sound pierces the night. The uploader doesn't wait around to find out what it was. Understandably, he says he didn't stay at his house that night. He left. But the next morning, he returned. And what he found is what we see next.
Dog-like creature peeking its nose out. Now I'm gonna see what it would have to stand on how tall it would have to be. Well, this is my height. There's the window. There's nothing it could have stood on. You know, that's weird, there's scratches on there. Well, anyways, it could have had a couple legs like this on these steps. But it would have to be about a foot taller than me in order for its head to peek out. Stating that the dog man would be, believe it or not, 7 foot tall on his hind legs.
His yard is covered in snow, but something's off. Footprints, deep, wide, and far too large to belong to any known animal, cut through the snow around the house. The uploader follows the tracks with the camera. At one point, it looks like something scraped along the siding of the house. A claw? A hand? It's unclear, but it's disturbing. And apparently, this wasn't the first time. According to the uploader, others in the area had reported similar sightings. Strange noises in the woods, something lurking just beyond the tree line. Even the uploader's own uncle claimed to have heard screeches like this in the days leading up to the event.
Star Emergency, this is Kyle speaking. How can I help you? Hello?
Something just ran in front of us on the road. We're in the ditch. We rolled over.
How many people are in the car, and is anyone injured?
There's 2 of us. I don't think we have any injuries.
Is the car on its top or wheels or what?
No, it's kind of sitting on its side.
Hold one moment, please, while I contact emergency services.
Okay.
Okay, the state police should be on their way in a few minutes. Is everyone still okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
What ran in front of you? A deer?
I don't know what the hell it was, but it was big. It looked like a great big dog. Standing up.
Was it a bear, maybe?
Maybe, oh my God. Oh my God!
Sir? Hello? Are you still there? Sir?
Theories began to emerge. Some suggested it could be a dogman, a cryptid said to walk upright, half canine, half human. Others thought it might be a werewolf. Whatever it was, if this footage is real, it might be one of the most terrifying encounters ever caught on a smartphone. What do you think? Could this actually be an authentic recording of an unknown creature? Or is it just a well-executed hoax? Be sure to leave your thoughts and your theories in the comments below. But I'm also curious what you think of this next video. It's a 2-hour documentary created by Matt Benton of Devil's Hour Productions. It's late at night when a man, completely alone, enters a long abandoned house. He moves slowly, cautiously, through the building, as though expecting something to appear. According to him, this place has a strange and unsettling history. The street the house is on is avoided by nearly everyone in the area, and for good reason. There's something about it that just doesn't feel right. Locals say that an old man once lived here, until he eventually left to move in with aging relatives. But here's the strange part. No one ever lived with him. This massive building, filled with countless rooms and cryptic artifacts, belonged to a single man who lived alone. And what's even more disturbing is what people claim happened after he left. Several Dutch residents have reported seeing shadowy figures standing near the second-floor windows. Others have heard the distant sound of children laughing in the middle of the night. After hearing these stories, the man decides to investigate. He steps inside, his camera rolling, expecting, or maybe hoping, not to find anything. But that changes quickly. Out of nowhere, a small golden statue falls upward, almost as if it defies gravity. The man freezes. For a few seconds, he just stares, trying to understand what he's just seen. He searches the room for an explanation, a draft, a sloped floor, anything. But nothing makes sense. And while that would be strange enough on its own, what happens next takes things even further. Still shaken, the man climbs the stairs to the second floor, determined to keep going. He sets up a second camera to capture the hallway from another angle, and that's when this is recorded. For just a few frames, a small silhouette appears, leaning against the wall. It's subtle, nearly invisible unless you're looking for it. The man doesn't see it in real time, but viewers later pointed it out in the comments, claiming that had he noticed it while filming, he probably wouldn't have stayed. Knowing that this figure may have been standing just a few feet away from him at the time was enough to haunt him after watching the footage back. But it doesn't end there. As he continues exploring the upper level, he comes across a few rooms with their doors mysteriously closed. Something feels off. The energy changes. And then, he finds this. He pushes one of the doors open. At first, nothing seems out of place. But the moment he steps inside, the door suddenly slams shut behind him, as if someone yanked it closed. Panicked, the man runs back to the door, only to find it locked from the inside. He tugs at the handle, and just as quickly as it locked, it unlocks on its own. He bolts out of the room. In the rush, his camera briefly glitches and stops recording. But just before that moment, something chilling is caught on film. The camera pans back toward the room he just escaped, and in the shadows, a dark figure can be seen standing silently, watching, motionless, almost like it had been in the room with him the entire time. After reviewing the footage, the man was left rattled. Whatever that was, it wasn't just his imagination, and it was probably closer than he ever realized. We don't know exactly what happened to him after this, but one thing seems certain: he's not going back. So what really happened inside that house that night? Until more footage is released, the truth remains buried in mystery. For more details, you can check out the full video on the Fourth Wall YouTube channel. But before you do that, take a look at this video captured by Matt. He brings together 4 seasoned paranormal researchers, Matt himself, along with Joe Vitale, Bill Cook, and Eric Connor, as they document a chilling investigation inside one of the most iconic haunted locations in America, the Harrisville Farmhouse, formerly known as the Arnold Family Farmhouse. Built in 1736, this house isn't just a relic of colonial history, it's the real-life inspiration behind The Conjuring. From the very moment the group steps inside, it's clear they've entered something more than just an old building. The air feels thick, the silence heavy. The house seems to breathe, slow, cold, and watching. In the early part of the film, we're shown some of the most disturbing footage ever captured by the former caretaker, a man named John Huntington.
I hear you out there. Thought I saw him move a little bit. Holy oh my god, that's scary.
In this eerie piece of footage, the camera catches an unexplainable shadow darting across the frame. There's no one in sight, no wind, no movement. Just darkness creeping past, too fast and too solid to dismiss. Roughly a minute later, John is downstairs in the main part of the house.
Some knocking and banging done. I walked through a minute ago, so I thought I'd just grab my camera. There's a car going by. Hello? Goosebumps.
When he hears something that freezes him in place. A noise, neither a footstep nor a knock, but something worse, something primal. His blood runs cold, and for a brief moment, the camera captures the pure fear written across his face. And just when John thought the evening couldn't get any darker,
Alright, I'm just gonna ask who was here with us, because this is crazy. Alright, you ready, guys? Oh, it's full. Okay, let me delete that one. Okay, recording. Who is here with us? Did I just say? Did I just hear what I think I heard? I went slow, so it sounds funny. Oh, something's not happy, guys. Something is not happy.
he begins to experience a string of unexplainable events unfolding before his very eyes. Doors creak open by themselves. The temperature drops suddenly. And at one point, the sound of someone breathing, labored and wet, can be heard behind him, even though no one is there. Later, a stationary camera placed in one of the bedrooms captures something equally disturbing. With no one in sight, the door slowly swings open on its own. There's no wind, no movement, just silence, and a door that moves like it was summoned. Now, the focus shifts to footage recorded by Matt Benton and his investigative team. This next moment stands out, not for what is heard, but for what is seen.
At 10:12 p.m., the Heisen family's DVR system captured the rocking chair move on its own.
While exploring a bedroom late into the night, the group encounters something that many would consider a cliché, until it happens in front of you. A rocking chair, moving back and forth, slowly, methodically, and no one near it. It's the kind of moment that can turn skepticism into sleepless nights. Roughly an hour deeper into the documentary, the investigators continue to comb through the house, this time with cameras pointed toward a quiet corner near the attic.
Yep. Holy shit.
What they capture is almost absurd, if it wasn't so unsettling. A ball rolls across the wooden floor, lightly, intentionally, as if some unseen child were still playing, still there. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is clear. This house leaves a mark on those who enter, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Some say it's best to leave the real-life conjuring house alone, to let its past stay buried in the shadows where it belongs. Because these were only some of the terrifying moments Devil's Hour Productions managed to capture inside Harrisville. And if these clips don't convince you, the rest of the documentary just might. But that doesn't come close to the raw, unsettling reality captured in this next disturbing clip, posted by TikTok user @skateboardchris, someone who seems to be dealing with something far beyond explanation. Over time, his clips have painted a disturbing picture, one that seems to grow darker with each upload. The first video opens with a short explanation. Chris and his cousin had pulled out a Ouija board just the day before. They started playing around with it, curious, maybe even skeptical. But as you might expect, it didn't take long for things to take a terrifying turn. At first, everything seems fine. Chris goes about his day, but once he sets up his camera, strange things begin to unfold. Listen closely to what happens next.
I heard it, but I didn't see it. I still hear it. You can hear that, can't you? I can. Sound like tapping. Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch.
The camera records a series of bizarre, unplaceable noises. Tapping, scraping, whispers, possibly. It's hard to say, but there's a strange rhythm to it all, like something just out of sight is trying to make its presence known. One commenter claimed they heard the phrase, "get out," around 8 seconds after Chris mentions hearing tapping sounds himself. Could it be pareidolia? Maybe. But once you hear it, it's hard to unhear. Right on cue, a tripod falls over by itself. No wind, no visible movement, just a sharp crash, followed by silence. In the second video, Chris explains that he couldn't sleep, so he got up to clean some dishes. It was late, and he figured keeping busy might calm his nerves. He sets up his camera again. But peace, apparently, isn't something this house allows.
It's like the second time tonight.
While he moves around the kitchen, noises build again, this time more aggressive. There's tension in the air. At one point, Chris jumps, startled by something off camera. He tries to play it off, but you can see it in his eyes. He's scared. He later explains that just before this footage, he heard the shower downstairs running by itself. For how long, he doesn't know. But it's enough to make him wonder if whatever is in the house is somehow drawn to water. That brings us to the third and final video, arguably the most unsettling of the three. It was filmed late at night. Chris had originally set up his camera with plans to do a casual live stream, but, as he explains, he was too tired and decided against it. He chats briefly with his dogs, unaware of what's about to happen. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes through the house. Something falls. The dogs bark. Chris pins around, clearly shaken. He steps off screen, and the camera picks up faint sounds, movement, creaking, something brushing against the wall. The rest of the footage shows Chris walking back and forth trying to figure out what to do. He's visibly unsettled, and the video ends without resolution, just silence. To this day, it remains unclear what exactly Chris is dealing with. But one thing is certain. Ever since he and his cousin messed with that Ouija board, something changed. And if these videos are any indication, it might already be too late to go back. Take this as a warning. Don't get involved in things you don't understand, or you might end up like what you're about to see in this next video, uploaded just days ago. At first glance, there's nothing unusual about it. The clip opens on a quiet, wooded area at night. An ordinary forest, still and dark. But within moments, that peaceful silence turns into something far more sinister. one of the trees in the shot begins to move, not just a little sway, but full, distinct motion. It shifts back and forth continuously throughout the entire duration of the clip. The strange part? There's no wind, no breeze, nothing else in the environment is moving. The other trees remain completely still, but that's just the beginning. What makes this video truly unnerving are the creatures caught in the background. At first, they look like monkeys, but something is clearly off. Their proportions aren't right. Their limbs are too long, their movements too deliberate, and then one of them stands upright. It pauses, and then it walks, not on all fours, but like a human. The gait is strange, unnatural, almost robotic. It's one of the most disturbing moments in the footage. So what are we looking at here? A group of mutated animals? A hoax? Or something else entirely? No one seems to know for sure. But one thing's clear. These aren't your average forest creatures, and the internet is still trying to figure out what exactly was captured on camera that night. If you've seen anything like this before, or if you think you can explain the movement of the tree, or the identity of these strange humanoid monkeys, let us know. Because this clip might just be one of the weirdest and most unexplainable videos to surface in recent months. It'll probably remain a mystery, and the same can be said for this next disturbing video posted to Reddit by a user named Kimberly. Kimberly shared an experience that left her completely shaken. It was 1:30 a.m., and Kimberly couldn't fall asleep. So, like many of us, she decided to get up and grab a late-night snack. The house was quiet. Her boyfriend and her roommate, Jackie, were both fast asleep in their rooms. No one else was home. But what happened next would terrify her, and anyone in her position.
Oh, Jesus! Jackie? Hi. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the
As Kimberly walks into the kitchen, she suddenly jumps. A loud female voice clearly says "hi" from the doorway right behind her. Panicked, she spins around, half expecting to see Jackie standing there. But there's no one. The hallway is completely empty. Even stranger, Kimberly has two small dogs. Dogs that normally come running the moment they hear the sound of a snack bag being opened. But this time, they stay away. In fact, they seem skittish, as if they're sensing something she can't see. Kimberly later confirmed that Jackie was fast asleep the entire time, and their home has no voice assistants, no Siri, no Alexa, nothing that could have generated that sound. Her fear is palpable. And then, later in the video,
Oh, Jesus!
we get just a glimpse of her face again, and it says everything. Her expression is raw, shaken, not exaggerated. Just pure, authentic fear. Whatever it was that Kimberly heard, she wasn't the only one reacting to it. And whether you believe in ghosts or not, moments like this are hard to dismiss. Because when both people and animals sense something's wrong, maybe it really is. Luckily, it's not nearly as scary as this next video, where a local band is preparing to perform for the very last time. In the following video, a local band is preparing to perform one final time. Before playing, they give a short, heartfelt speech about their journey together, how the band formed, and what the music has meant to them over the years.
Total que nos formamos para concursar y al final de cuentas ganamos y ya desde entonces nos pusimos a tocar.
It quickly becomes clear that this entire event is actually a farewell party, a final show before the group parts ways for good. The video starts off exactly how you'd expect. There's laughter, a bit of nostalgia, and a crowd that seems eager to enjoy the night. But then, just minutes later, something happens that leaves both the band and the audience deeply unsettled. What's captured next is downright chilling.
Pero pues cuando entraron a la universidad, pues ya se deshizo el grupo, se mantuvieron un tiempo, pero no se pudo después. Y ya, pues ahorita me llegaron con esto de que casi que la última tocada.
As the band begins to play, the camera pans across the room, and that's when it happens. In the background, behind a television, a figure appears. At first, it seems like nothing, a trick of the light maybe. But when viewers slow down the footage, they notice something terrifying. The figure wasn't there earlier in the video. It appears out of nowhere. Even more disturbing? It's positioned in an incredibly tight space between the TV and the wall. A space far too narrow for any normal person to fit into. And yet, there it is, perfectly still, watching. Some believe it could have been a prank or a guest playing a trick, but others aren't so sure. The way the figure materializes so suddenly, the unnatural stillness, the blank, pale face barely visible through the shadows, it all adds up to something far more unnerving. To this day, the band has never publicly commented on what was captured in that footage, and the figure, whether person, prank, or paranormal, remains completely unexplained. But one thing is certain. For everyone who watches this video, the final performance of this band ends not with a celebration, but with a nightmare. But none of that compares to the sheer terror in this next video, shared by a user who goes by the name Tofa Photo. The clip was shared to the widely popular Ghosts subreddit, and ever since its posting, it's been the center of heated discussion within the community. The footage was filmed at the haunted Edinburgh Manor, located in Iowa, a place layered with history and drenched in eerie stories. Over the years, the manor has served many purposes. At one point, it was a support farm, later a mental institution, eventually a retirement home. And through all those phases, it gained a reputation, one it still hasn't shaken. According to the uploader, he had investigated the manor multiple times before, but never encountered anything worth mentioning. That all changed on this particular night. The uploader explains that the property includes a detached safe house in the back and a working kitchen and bathroom inside the main structure. On the second night of his exploration, he decided to try something different. He set up several security-style cameras, devices that would silently record throughout the night, then left the manor entirely to sleep at his own home. What the cameras recorded, however, would soon leave him, and countless viewers, stunned. In the dead of night, the footage captures something terrifying. A chorus of voices, distant and yet strangely close, suddenly erupts inside the manor. The sounds seem to echo through the empty rooms, sharp and chilling, as if multiple entities are all speaking at once, or crying out. The quiet is shattered in a way that feels deeply unnatural. Creepy, right? Imagine being the one who had to review this footage, thinking you were safe, only to realize you might not have been as far from danger as you'd hoped, that your absence didn't stop something from showing up. To fully understand the weight of this discovery, It helps to know what kind of place Edinburgh Manor really is. Originally intended to be the county seat of Jones County, it was eventually repurposed into a poor farm. Over 150 individuals, many of them elderly, disabled, or suffering from severe poverty, died there under grim, often unrecorded conditions. The manor operated from 1911 until 2010, and in that time, it developed a long and dark legacy. Today, it's considered one of the most haunted places in the United States. Visitors frequently report ghost sightings, unexplained EVPs, and sudden aggressive changes in temperature. Investigators have even claimed to identify specific spirits assigned to different floors. Now, it offers ghost tours and overnight stays, a chilling invitation to those brave enough to meet the manor's lingering residents. And this video, it was posted only 2 weeks ago. There's still no explanation, no evidence of a hoax, no technical error that could account for the sounds. Just a building, once home to the forgotten, now home, possibly to something else. Let's hope one day we get an answer. But for now, it remains one of the eeriest unexplained captures in recent memory. But there are more situations like this, as seen in the next video, captured by a YouTube user named VivHerado72. It was filmed inside what appears to be a perfectly ordinary hospital, somewhere in Manzano, a city in Mexico. At first glance, there's nothing unusual about the footage. The uploader walks calmly through the building, recording empty hallways and dimly lit rooms. It feels more like a quiet, late-night stroll than a paranormal investigation. At one point, he steps into a room, pauses briefly, and then turns back to continue exploring. Still, nothing seems out of place. No tension, no signs of anything strange. But then, he heads down a particular corridor. And it's right here that the video takes a sudden, chilling turn into something much darker. If you look closely, just carefully enough, you'll notice something that's easy to miss on a first watch. From the right-hand side of the frame, a face begins to appear. Subtle, still, almost hidden behind the corner. It's pale, slightly distorted, and clearly watching. It doesn't blink, it doesn't move, and it doesn't look human. There's no reaction from the uploader. He didn't notice it at the time, and there's no mention of it in the video. No explanation, no follow-up. Just that eerie moment, frozen in time, waiting to be noticed by anyone observant enough to catch it. Who or what this figure is remains a complete mystery. And like so many unsettling clips recorded in forgotten, overlooked places, maybe the scariest part isn't what you see, it's what you don't understand. Just like in this next video, where everything unfolded on June 23, 2023. On June 23, 2023, a man named Pablo Dastor was hiking through the woods with his dog when they stumbled upon something strange. Out in the middle of nowhere, far from any roads or trails, they discovered an unusual building. No signs, no path, just a forgotten structure, half swallowed by the forest. Pablo and his dog slowly approached, but just as they got close, they froze. Pablo couldn't explain it. There was no sound, no movement, just an overwhelming sense that something ominous lived inside those walls. Now, the footage we're about to see wasn't taken during that first visit. Instead, it was recorded a few days later, after Pablo returned, still haunted by what he felt that day.
Bueno, encontramos una escalera. Vamos a ver si podemos acceder.
It's worth noting that during all of Pablo's previous outdoor explorations, his camera never malfunctioned. But here, right as he approached this particular place, it glitched. Briefly, unexplained. Maybe just a coincidence, or maybe not. That's what convinced him to come back. On his second visit, things got even stranger.
Wow. Vamos. Wow. Pequeña espina. Cae, Draco. Cae acá. Ah, bueno. Tenemos una escalera. Sí, definitivamente se nota que era... Bueno, es muy baja la entrada. Wow. Draco, vení. Bueno, definitivamente no quiere entrar. Es por algo. Vení, Draco. Realmente me siento como bastante acelerado el pulso. Hay una energía definitivamente fuerte. Draco, vení, él me sigue todo. Vení, entra. Eso. No. No. Bueno, me voy acá. Me voy acá porque no me estoy empezando a sentir bien.
This abandoned building, Pablo later discovered, was once an old church. And from the moment they stepped closer, his dog Draco began to act different. At first, Draco wandered around like normal. But as they neared the entrance, his entire demeanor changed. He stiffened, slowed down, backed away, and refused to step inside. Something about this place scared both of them. Pablo can be heard saying it doesn't feel right, that there's something in the air, something heavy. According to local legends, the church is haunted, and Pablo, standing in the doorway, begins to wonder if it might be true. A few days later, Pablo returns one final time, this time at night, and once again, Draco is with him.
Poco nervioso, debería decirlo. Vení, Draco, vení. Draco. Por fin subió. Vení. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Por qué no querés estar acá? Vení. ¿Qué hay? Draco. Draco. Vení.
The footage shows Pablo scanning the tree line with his flashlight, the building looming behind him. Draco, normally calm, begins to whine, then growl. He won't go near the structure. Pablo looks around nervously, and for a split second, the camera stutters again, almost as if something is interfering. Once more, there are no visible threats, no people, no animals, just an overwhelming sense that they're being watched. So what's really going on here? Is Draco sensing something truly paranormal? Or is there a natural explanation, one we simply don't understand yet? Either way, Pablo isn't looking for answers anymore. He's not going back. Did you find those videos unsettling? then brace yourself for the final one. There's a place in Scotland known as Clune Park Estate, a crumbling shadow of what was once a vibrant community. Today, the area is abandoned, eerily silent, and surrounded by an unsettling atmosphere that many visitors find impossible to ignore. Whether it's the derelict school that stands at the center of town, or the decaying Gothic-style church looming just beside it, there's something about Clune Park that simply doesn't feel right. The estate was originally built in the early 1920s, designed to support local shipyard workers and their families. For a brief time, it thrived. But within just a few decades, people began to leave, quietly and in large numbers. The reasons for their departure remain unclear. Some blame economic decline. Others point to the deteriorating conditions of the buildings. But among locals, there's another theory, one that's harder to dismiss after dark. They say the place is haunted. With that in mind, two friends set out to explore the estate in the middle of the night, hoping to capture something strange. For the first hour or so, nothing unusual happens. But then, inside one of the abandoned flats, the atmosphere shifts.
Hello? Isn't it? Hello? Yo! Hello? Yo, go upstairs, dude. Hello? What the f*** is that? Is that downstairs? Hello? There's someone down there, bro. How can they? I'm confused. Huh? Say that. I'm in that room. Hello? Hello? What are we hearing? Hello?
While standing in a gutted living room, the two friends suddenly freeze. A strange sound echoes from downstairs, sharp, sudden, and completely unexpected. They cautiously make their way toward the source, following the noise to a nearby room. The door is ajar. The sound came from inside. But when they check, there's no one there. It's tempting to write it off as a squatter, maybe even an animal. But both men had scouted the building beforehand. They were sure they were alone. And just before entering the building, something was captured on camera. Something they didn't notice until later.
Isn't it? Future in hand. Right, that one's open. Yo. You see movement then? Yeah. Move the light. Yo. Yo. What's that? Yo.
In a window just above them, a curtain twitches, and behind it, a face, pale, motionless, watching. The moment it's spotted, the figure pulls back, disappearing behind the curtain. But if you freeze the frame, the face doesn't look quite right. There's something off about its features. Too smooth, too still, too hollow. The two friends are visibly shaken, and considering how long this estate has been abandoned, one disturbing question remains. Who or what was that? They have no answer, no footsteps, no voice, just a glimpse of something they'll never forget. And now, neither will we. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.